Hello and welcome back. I would say welcome back to the courtroom, but that's the whole point. It's not a courtroom, it's the bit before that. Welcome back to the interrogation suite, where we follow the Geneva Convention to the letter. I'm back. I have struggled to find any information about this game in English. It's quite elusive. I don't speak Korean, so a bit stuffed. But I've discovered one thing. So on that previous screen where you could pick either, so we could only find a way to say to your friend you wouldn't indict him, but I've now managed to find a way of saying you can indict him using this thing at the side. So we've read this before. So what this means is, so this bit's where we say what he's admitted. I'll tell you my findings in a moment. So he's admitted that he posted the advert. And that's not up for debate, because he said he did it. Yeah. So then he says, but that doesn't mean I actually made him kill himself. So, we've read this before. So did the posting of the advertisement actually alter his behaviour? So this means we can either hurt ourselves by doing the wrong answer, and the fact there's a shield here means you have to defend him. So we're now going to show, as we learnt last time, that he's posted an advert previously talking about how actually he was already looking for these pills before the advert was posted. So the victim had already been looking for the drug before. That's definitive evidence that the poison advertisement is no way assisted the suicide. The victim was already planning to commit suicide regardless of your advertisement. Great. And then he's like, you're a great guy, you're the best cop on earth. So then, let's say the suspect was able to access and handle VX. Please check the confirmatory evidence of the witness testimony regarding the nurse's access to VX. So this sword means you can damage him here. You can damage him, but you can attack him in the dungeon crawler aspect of the game previously mentioned. So Chuck Guinness, age 28, male. He works as a nurse at the hospital. Have you ever witnessed a suspect selling drugs? No. Does the hospital where you work store VX? I've never seen it, but I've heard that it does. A nurse wouldn't have access, but I don't know for sure. Have you ever seen him handling VX? Of course not, but everyone who works there could be a suspect. Try checking the hospital's remaining VX. What was his work log like on the 11th? Well, on duty working in the hospital, he was at the hospital in the morning, then took some patients out to Mandy. So he could have got to it in that time. Apparently not. So I know of a way to say that he couldn't handle it. We pick the bit where the nurse couldn't take it. But this says anyone in the hospital could be a suspect. He says the nurse doesn't have access, but I don't know for sure. But we've tried this before when it didn't do anything. Or it did something, it kicked us in the arse. So there's a bit of debate about these two though, because he says, I don't know, I never have. I never know nothing about the drug at all. I'm just a nurse, so even if they do handle it, I have no access to it. And then his mate says, a nurse doesn't have access, but I don't know for sure. Have you ever heard about him handling it? Try checking the hospital's remaining VX, so we can't do that. Chairman Jack Bright. I'm just a nurse. able to access VX. Please check the confirmatory evidence of the witness testimony. So it has to be the witness's testimony, so that's definitely not right. So he does confirm a nurse doesn't have access. But you can attack. So how do you attack here? Everyone working at the hospital could be a suspect. I don't see why that is not an option here. I wonder. He says himself he has access to it though. This is what I don't understand. He says he has access to it. He says he has the pills. He admits to having the pills. How is that not like enough? Suspect. So this theft charge. What does this relate to? Right, let's just go through with this, because you say he doesn't have access. Fine. Right, so this is where we're getting stuck. We can't prove they met. A lead that infers the victim could not obtain VX. So you can't use things on this page, which is slightly annoying. So we haven't used his bank statement yet, and that must be relevant. He's got the money out to pay you. We got a text message from him saying, at 3 o'clock I'm going to go meet the dude. I'm ready to meet the Reaper. And that's his username. No. That can't be right either. It's not just going to be that word nope. He says he never sold drugs, but we have evidence he has previously committed fraud. Right. The suspect provided the plaintiff. Right. The suspect provided the plaintiff with a bottle of medicine called VX as a suicide drug. the doses were insufficient for suicide. And the plaintiff survived and sued the suspect for fraud. Dude, what? He's done it! What on earth? What? He's as guilty as hell. The suspect was arrested for the theft as he stole a laptop and wallet from Bishop's car, which he... Okay, why have you done that, mate? The suspect attempted to cut the plaintiff's hair with clippers at the plaintiff's suit. The suspect became enraged, struck the plaintiff's head, then further assaulted the plaintiff by dealing multiple punches and kicks. This guy is bad news. I don't know about this fraud case, though. He's previously sold... He's previously sold the drugs. How is this not evidence? The suspect provided the plaintiff... He gave someone VX before. What, he's physically... Oh, that's how you show he's got access to it. Because he's done it before. That must be it. The plaintiff didn't get indicted because it wasn't enough to kill him. But it was the right drug, not the right dose. Okay, I wonder whether if we come back in... Let's try that. Let's try that. If that doesn't work, I'm drawing a total blank. Right, I'll pause and get to that same point again. Right. That was it. Right, okay, that was it. So, we've now... Oh my god. We've shown that John had access to VX in the past. He's down to half health. And he took an hour of gameplay. We'll need to investigate further to determine how you obtained VX. Hold on. This has been an undiscovered piece of information. Hold on, it seems you've sold VX before. You were lying when you said you'd never seen or handled it. Damn, I thought you didn't know. But the fact that I sold VX in the past cannot be used to establish that I sold VX to the victim. We need a lead that proves the suspect and the victim met on April 11th in order to obtain circumstantial evidence of selling VX. So we're back to this. So what have we achieved? We got him down to one health. Surely the evidence they met is the money. You just follow the money. The 200 bucks. The 200 smackaroons. We've tried all that before. This is interesting though. This is the day he died. What was that for? Oh god, we've healed him. There was definitive evidence that the victim did not receive the pill from you. Really? If the victim brought the pill on the 11th, then he would not have had to withdraw the money on the 12th. This shows he wasn't able to buy the pill at that time. I didn't think I'd find a clue providing your innocence, the file submitted by the petitioner. What luck. I thought I'd be indicted for sure. Why? You said you didn't sell the drugs. Of course, of course. Thanks for proving my innocence. You're not guilty. Oh, I don't think we granted mercy, we're just incompetent. So, right, the fact that the suspect posted an advertisement selling VX is acknowledged. Causality couldn't be proven. He'd already planned to do it, and he knew the VX would kill him. But he has sold it to people in the past. insufficient... yeah, that is what we're saying. The assumption that the masses will be satisfied when those in power are punished. That's the kind of populism and legal justice you should be wary of, team leader. You did well. God, did we? Did we do well? That guy's as guilty as heck. Does kind of make sense now I think about it, though. As in, the reason it was correct, yeah, should have been a bit more obvious. Cost all of our G's. Excuse me. The only reason we need that team leader is because of her lieutenant rank. Hey, I'm in the room, mate. That's what I overheard a few days ago. Someone was not happy that only lieutenants and above could write investigation verdicts. You know, some of the boys complain about how the forwarding system is restricted by ranks. Read this. Not only does she not do the legwork, but she can't even stamp a verdict. She can't handle the most cut and dry tasks. That is unfair. Don't get mad, team leader. I got furious for you and chewed them all out. Thanks, George. I told them, you pieces of... have no idea how hard the team leader works for us. I think they heard me in the building across the street. Oh, team leader. Let me ask you something. Why did you go against the guidelines from the higher-ups? I told you the chairman was willing to make some sacrifices. The chief wanted to make some fat deal with the chairman, using his son as a bargaining chip before he was promoted to Deputy Assistant Commissioner. Why did you interfere with that insufficient evidence stuff? You know that the chief decides our subjective scores at the end of the year. So, the chairman's son was involved in some stuff, and that would have, if VX had been involved there, it would have been a lot worse for the chairman. But we said it was actually all kosher. You might scoff at us for whining about a few points given out by the chief, but if we earn his wrath... Ooh. What do you mean? Are you saying the chief picked the losing side? Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I thought you might, George. Well, I guess you Police University graduates are pretty smart. From the new recruits to higher-ups like the chief. Yeah, the chairman raised and groomed the chief as his personal lapdog. For some reason, the chief bit the hand that fed him. And now a new recruit appears and puts everything in its place. How does it feel, team leader? How does all this tension feel after caring for our betrayed lord? We'll see. Honestly, I still can't figure out what your endgame is. But I know the team's got an ace in the hole. Now that the chief's gamble has failed, when the top brass at the provincial police agency come down, the chief's done for. One puff and he'll come tumbling down like a house of cards. Alright, now we're getting some momentum. The train we got on, I mean. The train of light speeding towards our goal. Lost in translation, perhaps. What goal? Why, A-level, of course. George is obsessed with results. Lights only runs to one final destination. I'm trying to keep a track of the overall story, but it's proving slightly complex. So, non-indictment. We didn't think he did it. So performance level's gone down to a B. We lost a hit point. That's kind of irritating. We needed that after our... the prosecutor dropped the case. So then the victim's father appeals to the court on the prosecution non-indictment charge. Then the central... So kind of the higher court dismissed the case, dropping it. Okay, so we got the right outcome. So they've matched the final verdict to precise legal execution level up. Okay, so a BB. Shop. Can we buy some more G's? Because we can't be... I don't know any... We're going to just pretend we didn't see any of that. You see, we've missed it. So far we've done a completely linear story. Right, I'm trying to remind myself of the whole story. Let's read this and see if it reminds us. Oh, we've done that one. Right, more dialogue. Buckle up, boys and girls. Right. So, let's dial it. Team leader, you're so busy these days. Did I see the mayor's car parked nearby last night? Did he come to visit? Well, that'll be telling, George. You'll be even more busy now. It's not easy rubbing elbows with the county's officials, rather. Gotta stay on your toes. Luckily, I'm also invited to the party tonight. Prosecutor Hans Dutch and the province inspector are invited too. So Hans Dutch is always the guy we refer the cases to, who decides whether to prosecute. Thanks to the chairman's boy returning safely, he really trusts you. You're like a little rabbit bouncing in with an invitation from the cartel predators clutched in your paws. Cute, huh? George, what are you talking about? It's not sarcasm, it's a compliment. After listening to that poor homeless guy, why didn't you help him? What the... Frank? What are you doing now? Excuse me, sir. Courtesy on questioning a witness. To the witness, Jordan West. You're right. No further questions. You can go now. We'll take care of this. Sir. Hey, didn't you get a call from Dr. Sutherland? The cause of death has been confirmed, so why beat a dead horse? What's your problem, huh? How much bribe was there from the county office, sir? Oh, that's all kicking off now. They've starred that one out. That one's too much. Jane, we're going to take control. We're going to take control of this. Team leader, our whole team is watching you and following in your footsteps. Those feet that kick incompetent idiots to raise their performance levels. Those feet that run around to fetch big cases. Those feet that crush the mouths of insolent morons. And those feet that dangle while rolling on your back for those in power. So you should take up this case. I can't believe that even control a wet behind the ears rookie now. Frank, you fool. Why do you think worked hard for the first half-year apprehension scores we got today? There are lessons learned only through writhing in self-depreciation. Wise words, wizard. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second to review the story, because I'm getting slightly lost. Right, yes, so the chief was going to use the chairman's son as a bargaining chip. That was it. But then we let him off, so then chief was now stuffed. So we're no longer very popular. Well, we're very popular, but not with the chief, with the chairman, who's this shadowy figure who owns apparently half the town. Look at this, 5 different ways you can go. 2 of them have keys on them. So you know it's a big deal. I think we'll pause it there, and in the next episode we will be having a new case of death by abandonment, which I'm sure will be full of, say, levels of, well, yes, I don't need to say it. See you next time.